One of the great mysteries when you go into the produce section of the grocery store is how do you pick out a good ripe watermelon? Here's a few simple tips. First of all, check the outside of the rind. You want a dull finish. The second thing to think about is it should be heavy for its size. Also, it should have the right sound. If it sounds like this, it's probably going to be good. If you get a dull thud, probably not a good melon. And lastly, look for that spot where it was resting out in the field. The darker and rougher that spot is, that means it's spent a lot of time out there, which means it's probably riper. If this spot is white or completely green, it's not going to be good. Now that we found our watermelon, we're going to go ahead and start cutting it. The way that we do that is very simple. First thing we're going to do is cut the ends off of the melon, and then we're going to lay it on its side, and we're going to start peeling off the outside. Now this is the same technique that you can use for cantaloupes, honeydews, or even pineapples. I like to use a thin-bladed knife for this when I'm cutting big melons, honeydews, and cantaloupes because it takes less of the meat off of the fruit and just takes the rind away. So once we've got all the rind off of our melon, we're going to go ahead and cut it into cubes. And the way that we do that is just cut off a couple of nice big slices like this, and you've got perfect watermelon cubes. And then these watermelon cubes can go into the freezer for 3 to 4 hours or as long as overnight. So now that we've got about 2 cups of frozen watermelon cubes, we're going to put those into our blender, and we're going to add in a couple tablespoons of fresh squeezed lime juice. If you find that your slushie is a little too thick, you can add a little water while you're blending. And make sure that you use a spoon while you're pouring it into the glasses because it will be thick. I'm Chef Robert Coleman for the Lord's Place and Joshua Catering. Cheers!